right. They called the what?
Okay, apparently a friend of mine on Facebook has shouted out that there is a straight gang of women called the Killer Cunts. Now, if I offend anybody by saying this word, I apologize in advance, but the Killer Cunts apparently are terrorizing Baltimore because they're tired of their boyfriends coming out on the down low, and they're tired of gay people shit, so they're going around bashing gay people.
Okay, first, I'm gonna say this. If you have to form a gang because your boyfriend turned gay, that is a deeper problem that needs to be resolved.
Okay.
Okay, now, okay. That one caught me off guard. Okay, now, I say that because a lot of times females feel like there's a reason why somebody turned gay. Act upon your feelings is completely, your choice. Sometimes it is, sometimes not, depending on how deep your desire goes, how big your urges are, I guess. But some people choose to not act upon them until they either feel pushed or until they feel comfortable. Now, for whatever reason, if a man is living on down low and still having sex with women or in a relationship with a woman, there is a deeper problem that needs to be resolved. And I don't think bashing other, gay, lesbian, transgender people would solve that problem. That's not
Just crazy.
even close to a solution.
If anything, you would want to get a dude so you and your dude can really have the best of both worlds or something like that. Why violence is not the answer.
As a female, personally, I don't think I wouldn't flip out. I don't think at the fact that somebody that I was dating came out. But on the flip side of that, keeping secrets, like living a down low life, that would be a reason to flip out. Because one, depending on how our sexual relationship is, you could potentially put me in danger by doing that. But at the same time, be honest, be upfront. If you like men, give me the option to fuck with you or not. Don't, keep that on the DL and then, wait for me to get pissed off later.
When you talk about the Killer Cunts, you say it's a group of girls, a group of straight women who are mad because their boyfriends went gay. And you mentioned that there's a deeper issue to that.
There is a deeper issue to that because one, okay, what are you doing or not doing for your man that you feel as though it's a problem?
I think it's a communication problem.
Yeah,
it all starts at home.
That, like I said, it's a deeper issue. It's many possibilities for what that issue might be, but it's a whole deeper issue than just going out and bashing on people who choose a lifestyle that you don't like. So, what is the point of that?
So would you think, Terrence, that these girls may have gotten together because of the simple fact that they feel like gay people have turned their straight men gay, rather than them just being gay and just going to what they want?
Yeah, I feel that way, but mostly I think it's because they weren't pleasing their man at home.
That's what I'm saying. It's a deeper issue. What weren't you doing?
There is a deeper issue there, and mostly because their man decided that because she's not pleasing me at home, I'm going to go out and experiment and satisfy my needs. My mom and dad always told me, if you're not getting it at home, you're going to find somewhere else to get it.
But why can't they go and just find in another girl?
Maybe because
I was about to say it might not always be so easy as that the chick is not pleasing her man, because if you start to be turned on by something else, it's not the fact that you're not pleasing him. He's just starting to be attracted to something else, and she might not have it. She might not even know necessarily what's going on. So you can't necessarily chalk it up, it being her fault or nothing like that. They all have to do pretty much with communication, because if y'all got the open type of relationship where y'all talk about stuff, you feel me, talk about, how y'all feel and, what you like, and, this, that, and the third, then, it's she'll know, and y'all can deal with it,
That right there, what you just said, was almost contradictory. Because, like I said, what aren't you doing for your man at home for him to have to keep it on the down low?
It might not necessarily be her. He might be a close person that don't talk about stuff. She might be the type of person that,
But at the same
she might be the type of person that's real verbal and
wet on the back.
Yeah, I think that if a person, it might not always be so black and white as it's she not pleasing her man.
The way I'm looking at it is,
I'm sorry.
It is a communication thing. I think if you got a girl at home who you can't talk to, because a lot of them are closed-minded to the idea of, hey, I may be, you know.
Dogs like me today.
That they may be closed-minded and they may not want or may not accept the fact that their man may be bisexual and may want to bring another man into the bedroom instead of another woman into the bedroom. So if she's not open with it and she's not open to that communication, he may not want to tell her, and he may want to get it behind her back, and that may be what.
Well, why y'all keep saying that? Why y'all keep going to like it's her fault?
No, I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm not saying it's her fault, because she may just be, she don't want to experiment. She may be only attracted to her man, and she may not be interested in bringing another man, you know, in her bedroom. And it could be jealousy too, which is, you know, not necessarily a negative trait.
That could be true, but I mean, it could also be the fact that he just might not know how to go about. He might not be able to openly express that, you know, he feeling, you know, because even though gay is such a taboo topic, you know, he might not want to be able to express that to her. So that could be the cause of him venturing out and doing stuff on the down low, and she just being none the wiser.
But then it's like,
not as taboo as it used to be. Like if you walk into any high school right now, you see all kinds of.
It's not taboo in our world, but because we all of us been out and open and so comfortable with it for so long. But for the normal straight people, I mean, and especially black people in a black household, it's like I think it's still a taboo topic.
it is, and it's also one of them things where if your woman, and I'm not saying it's her fault, I'm not saying it's his fault, but well, in this case I am saying it's his fault. If you can't go and talk to her, and you can't go and say, this is what I want. If you know that's not what she's into, you have to go and get what it is that you like. You may need to go find yourself another girl that does that.
Down low. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's necessarily her fault. That was one part of it. The other part of it is
he's more likely afraid that she going to talk about him behind his back. His mother going to talk about him behind his back. All her girlfriends, everybody he grew up with, especially in the black community. That's like how gay goes. Like nobody really explains to you like how to be gay. I just had this conversation with my cousin the other day, because she was saying that if she had a child and he was gay, then like she said she won't want her child to be gay. I said, well, how can you just determine whether your child will be gay or not? You can't break a child out of being gay. You can't determine somebody's sexual preference.
That's one part of it, as far as like coming out to your family.
That's what makes it so hard for like the person who is gay sometimes.
Yeah, and I understand that. I actually been through that. Like I've had issues with my family for a very long time, to the point where we don't even talk about it anymore. That's a taboo subject in my house. But the part I'm talking about as far as down low is, like I said, if I was in a relationship with a man and he had extracurriculars that he didn't want to tell me about, I would have an issue with that. So, I mean, tell me. If you don't want to tell your family, if you don't want to tell people who you think will be judgmental of you, tell me. Give me the choice of whether I want to deal with that or not.
In his mindset, he already scared, because he didn't sing like the way like everybody else, like might not necessarily be you, but from his experience, like when the dude down the street came out, everybody was calling him a fag when they found out he was fucking with the dude or the drag queen or whatever. Like this is the only examples of gay that he's seen like in his life. So like for him, like this is what's gonna happen to him when he come out. Like it's just gonna be like a whole lot of stigma that goes along with being gay, and sometimes that like causes people to react in different ways.
But it is nothing the female can do to stop, you know, her man from having gay thoughts or being gay or wanting to, you know, mess around with other dudes or something. Even she could have the most perfect pussy. She can, you know, she could be giving it, and it still is not going to change that fact. And so then we got to open the lines of communication up, because like we said, some women are closed-minded about it, and some men are afraid. And
being afraid of who you are, that's a dime a dozen.
I mean, but would it change if he was out creeping with another chick?
That would just be an ass whipping waiting to happen. But as far as being, you know, curious about your sexuality and not being able to either understand it or completely accept it yourself, you know, that's different than just going out and creeping behind my back and just getting something that I can't give you. If you want something I can't give you, fucking tell me. Then that's a conversation that needs to be had. Don't do that shit behind my back and then wait for me to find evidence of you cheating. That's gonna be a whole nother ass whooping waiting to happen on top of that. That's what I'm saying about being down low. I'm not talking about hiding it from your peoples. I'm not talking about living, you know, the double life just because you're afraid of the consequences. I'm talking about having a line of communication open with the person that you're in a relationship with, the person that you're supposed to be with. If your heart isn't in it or if your body isn't in it, either one, tell me.
Yeah, y'all shouldn't be in it, honestly.
You gotta realize that everybody like is raised differently in like different households and stuff like that. So a person might not necessarily know how to, you know, be an open type of person that just talk about certain things. They might not have been the type of family that sat around and ate at the dinner table and had conversations or whatever. They like, you know, I mean, a lot of people wasn't, but I mean, it's just like it has a lot to do, I guess, with like, you know, your upbringing and stuff like that. Sometimes the type of environment you grew up in, like all this has a lot. All this plays a role in the way you think, kind of, sort of.
True.
So,
I agree with that.
All right. Unless you got something else to say specifically on the DL and the chicks thing, I kind of want to go off of that to the next topic. Okay.